So when I woke up this morning, I didn't really have anything on my mind to talk about, to really say anything. Just kind of woke up, and then checked my phone just to see any news, just because I'm addicted to my phone and the internet and all that. And I saw just my entire feed was just filled with videos from other YouTubers. Instagram was even mentioned a couple times about Finn McKenty, who is the channel owner of the Punk Rock NBA. Very big channel. I think it has about 600,000 subscribers. Talks a whole lot about just rock music. All that stuff talks about, I know the videos that I always knew about him were like how genres got popular and then why they died. He would talk about like rock music in the modern age, and he had a lot of opinions that a lot of people didn't agree with. I didn't agree with a good amount of them, but I also understood where he came from. Like, he was not a big fan of these like revival genres, which I can completely understand and I agree with to a certain extent. But I think the thing that I always thought was at least pretty decent from him was he's a graphic designer, or at least, well, I'm a graphic design major right now, but he is a graphic designer and marketing major as well. So I always thought that was at least interesting how he tried to put like the design and those principles that I learn about into a different form of art where there's similarities, but they are different. And I thought it overall was pretty decent. But it has come out now that, well, I didn't even know he hasn't really been uploading on YouTube. And he honestly, I think he said he had quit making videos about like 3 months ago or something. But we never got a reason why, and because I didn't even know about this. And then he had an interview with Jesse Lee, where he said that he really doesn't even like music, specifically like rock music. Has never listened to even like a System of a Down song, which is crazy to me to think about. And I mean, the just thing of he was only in it for the money, which when your entire channel is called the Punk Rock NBA, I'm like jaw dropped that that's even a quote you're now saying. And it was really like crazy because, even for the people who didn't necessarily like him, Anthony Fantano made a video about it, which was the first one I saw. And despite Anthony Fantano and the Punk Rock NBA, Finn McKenty having pretty different like opinions on music, and even more like if you go further on like their political ideologies on stuff, Anthony Fantano seemed to have like at least a good amount of respect for him, which he even said in the video, and he had met him at one point. So it's kind of crazy to think about that, like this YouTuber who existed in this space and made these very informative videos couldn't have given a shit less about these genres, the bands, giving like these big and bold music opinions that he didn't even give a fuck about, which is crazy. Because I always remember there's like genres that he doesn't like, that like he doesn't like any of it, and I'm always like, that's like crazy to me, because like, yeah, there's like bad bands, but there's also like really good ones in there. So I was always confused by that. But I was like, well, at least it's his opinion. At least he listens to like the music to understand it. But that's not even the case. So I was completely like shocked by this information. The interview was so like off-putting to me, just because just the how he words things is he's very smug about it. And like, I mean, he fooled everyone, so I guess he, at a level, he should be smug about it. But I think he also doesn't understand that it's now like you Google his name, that's now being associated, and also like punk rock fans and rock fans and these people who are in these music circles won't take that kind of stuff as like jokes, and won't like forget that. So kind of whatever circle he tries to go into next, specifically in his marketing, all stuff, that's going to follow him. And, you look up your marketing advisor, and his trending thing is that, like, he's a liar and all that stuff. Like, what he says is not the truth. Whether or not it's music or any of that stuff, people are going to associate that. That's, like, the one thing I thought of. And the one thing that I always, like, kind of defended him on was he was pretty big on speaking for, like, how musicians should navigate their careers from like a marketing standpoint, because with how fucked up the music industry is, with paying artists less and less each year, taking advantage, putting them in like contract deals that like just fuck them over. It was really nice to like, hear someone who wasn't outright just being like, oh, music industry's bad, which is correct. I've said music industry's bad. Anthony Fantano has said it. Everyone says it. It's known, but no one's really giving any ways to fix it other than like we got to go on a union strike. and you're not going to get enough artists to agree on that stuff when that's going to kill their profits for that, and there's a chance that it doesn't fix anything. So Finn McKenty at least was giving ideas like, here's what you got to navigate, here's like how you got to look at the contracts, what labels you're going into, ways to promote yourself and market yourself, that way you're not like a one-hit wonder. So I thought that at least was like respectable. Like, you can like not give a fuck about any of his music opinions. Like, you like Spirit Box. He doesn't like Spirit Box, I don't think, or I don't remember if he did or not. Or yeah, it could be any of that stuff. Any band or song or genre he doesn't like that you really like, that's completely fine to be against him on that. But you could at least, I was like, you could at least respect him on how he actually like kind of sticks up for like these musicians, trying to give him ideas. And then the end of the interview is what really dug it in for me, was where he's saying like he's basically like dismissing how musicians don't make that a good amount of money anymore. And he's like, well, if you're making stuff that gets like millions and millions of streams and you can't even make like 10,000 on it, that's your fault. Which, like, I mean, do you understand how the Spotify and Apple Music streaming service revenue split works? Do you understand how contract? You're really dismissing it, where I don't think you would be able to get out of it, and you also would not be making it without any of that stuff. So I think he's just looking at it like, oh, that's their fault. And he's like, oh, I couldn't give a single fuck about them, which, like, you don't have to give a fuck about them. But also, like, you're also now shitting on the entire thing that made you money, which, you know, I don't know why the fuck you would even, like, admit that you should have just, like, ended the channel and then just rode off into the sunset. I just don't know. And I thought it was just crazy to wake up to. And it really just got me thinking, like, anyone going into, like, making YouTube videos for anything, it doesn't have to be music, it can be like my like main channel, where sometimes I upload and I just do stuff that like I like because I have a passion for it, or I just want to make a video just because it's something I enjoy, because like I don't make money on my like videos. I just kind of enjoy doing it because it has really helped me for public speaking, helped me just talk to people. People in the comment section have pretty much been amazing to me, which is wonderful to hear. Because I always worry, like, oh, God, are they going to be mad at me because I didn't rate such and such album a 10 or, like, high enough, or I liked an album that someone didn't like. I always worry about that. But everyone's generally been nice. Even if people get mad at me, that's kind of part of it, and something that you're aware of when you get into that stuff. If you were to do something like reviewing movies, because I like movies, but I don't know if I would be able to review it as much as I like to do music necessarily. Like, I've done like one movie review on the Deadpool movie because I liked it, and it was very just informal, just talked about it, gave my thoughts, because I don't watch movies enough, so when I do, I feel like it's kind of a bit cool thing. But I don't know, I just feel like it's very disingenuous and just like, I don't know, kind of draining. I feel like it's the same vein of like, you work a job that you're not in love with, whether or not you make good money on it or not. If you're not enjoying it, that's just kind of sucks ass, in my opinion. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, I hope he finds happiness in whatever he wants to do. I hope people don't necessarily like harass him or anything, because I don't really like harassment. I don't think people should, and I know nobody in my comment section are gonna harass people, but you know, just making sure, because I checked his comment section on his most recent videos, and they're vicious, which rightfully so, but it's still like, make sure it stays at only that as the most. Don't like, nobody dox him, nobody do any of that stuff. It's not good. But those are really my thoughts on it. I thought this was a weird situation, but that's it. Bye.